Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be doing a video about Luckin Coffee. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Join the family, guys. Let's go on our investing journey together. So today we're going to be doing a video about Luckin Coffee. And if you guys don't know the story about Luckin Coffee, it's a pretty big one. Obviously, Luckin Coffee, a big coffee chain that's based out of China, set to rival Starbucks. This stock was actually doing very, very well. As you guys look at the 1 year chart, guys, this thing was a $50 stock at one point. So how did it end up all the way down at $3.74? Why did Luckin Coffee stock crash? And is Luckin Coffee stock still worth the investment? Is Luckin Coffee stock going to recover? As you guys know, Luckin Coffee came out swinging, had a lot of big-time investors behind its name. This company was growing at a pace that no one could really keep track of, and like I said, it was the Starbucks of China, and that was the brand it was keeping for itself. Muddy Waters, who is a short seller, basically probed Luckin Coffee, basically said that Luckin Coffee was fabricating a lot of their sales, up to 210 million US dollars or 2.2 billion yuan. As it later found out, yes, that was actually true. Luckin Coffee was fabricating a lot of their sales, leading to the stock just absolutely crashing. Stock went from $50 all the way down to about, I think, $4 or $5, and then the stock got halted. It went on a T12 halt, and the stock was halted for actually I think a month or 2 months. I was actually holding some shares of Luckin Coffee when this happened. I kind of just forgot about it because I was like, okay, I have no idea when this halt is actually going to release. But the stock got halted, right? And then 2 months it got halted. And then finally they released the halt. Everybody sold out the shares basically. And it was trading on the NASDAQ for a little bit. And then it was set to actually go through a hearing. So when a company does fabricate their sales, they have to go through a NASDAQ hearing. Basically, NASDAQ gets to decide if the company gets to stay listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Later finds out, I don't think Luckin Coffee actually showed up to the meeting, or I don't think they did the meeting, but Luckin Coffee actually ended up getting delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. So yes, if you do want to buy Luckin Coffee shares, you can only purchase Luckin Coffee over the counter. You cannot buy them on big brokerages like Webull or Robinhood, stuff like that. You have to use TD Ameritrade. So basically, it got delisted, and then, it went all the way down to about 80 cents. So it has made a little bit of a recovery. But the biggest question that I'm trying to get across here, is Luckin Coffee still worth the investment at $3.74? Can Luckin Coffee stock actually recover? Is there a future for Luckin Coffee? Now, for me, I've made many videos about Luckin Coffee, and I still do think there is a future about Luckin Coffee. Yes, they fabricated the sales, but everything else about the company is actually real, right? The company has 6,000 plus stores. Those stores are all legit, right? They didn't fabricate those, so they're still up, they're still making money, and by that I actually mean their stores are still open, they're still selling coffee, so, it looks like they're still in business. They cleaned out a lot of the management, so they got rid of the CEO and the CEO and stuff like that. So, the company did what it could, so it swept out the management, right? And obviously, it's very hard to recover from fraud, guys. Once you get plagued with fraud, it's very hard. You have to work very hard to bring the name of the brand back. You have to trust, you can get the trust of investors back. You have to understand, guys, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America took a huge loss on these companies. I know they took out a lot collateral loan on the shares for Luckin Coffee, and they ended up selling them. Most of the banks usually break even on these kinds of deals, but a lot of investors really got, screwed over by Luckin Coffee. And it leads the people to ask, is Luckin Coffee stock going to recover? And for me, I actually do think Luckin Coffee stock is going to recover. Now, the reason I say this is because, the stores are still up and running. They're still making money. Now, the only problem that Luckin Coffee faces is actually getting the trust of investors back, because not a lot of people invest in over-the-counter stocks, and not a lot of people are actually investing in Luckin Coffee. The volume continues to shrink more and more every single day, so it's hard to raise capital to be able to expand as fast as they once were. Right, Luckin Coffee was expanding all the time. I think they were opening up a store a day or something like that. It's just crazy. But the reason I think Luckin Coffee stock can recover, because they did all the necessary processes and the steps to actually keep going and to build itself back up from the ground. Like I said, they swept up the management, right? And we're still waiting on updated financials, which we haven't received yet. I'm still kind of upset about that, because I actually wanted to see how the company was doing before the fraud. Obviously, if the report comes out and the company was actually doing very, very well, then it's a different story, and they could actually gain the trust of investors back, and people might want to actually invest in the company. For me, I do own a small position in Luckin Coffee. I own 1,000 shares. I bought around $2. Just a small position, just because I didn't want to take really any risks. The company hasn't filed for bankruptcy, so that's also another good sign, right? If the company filed for bankruptcy, then obviously I'd be out, but since they haven't filed for bankruptcy, the company's still up. They're still running. They're selling coffee. They haven't filed for bankruptcy yet. We're still waiting on updated financials so we can actually see how the company was doing itself. They swept out the management, and now they're working towards making the brand name clean. But the thing is, I think what is actually hurting Luckin Coffee the most is their lack of posting news to the public to ensure investors and to ensure people that, Luckin Coffee is still here. I feel like Luckin Coffee kind of just disappeared off the face of the planet, and soon enough, guys, people will eventually forget about Luckin Coffee, right? For me, like I said, I see it as a huge potential. There really is not much downside here for the stock, guys. There really isn't. I mean, I could lose $2,000 max, but the thing is, this thing does have a lot of upward potential. This thing does have the ability to take it around. Do I think one day it can go back to $50? No, I do not. It might, but it's going to take a long time. And the biggest thing with Luckin Coffee, guys, is patience, right? With this stock, you guys need to be patient if you're going to invest in Luckin Coffee. Do I think Luckin Coffee is worth the investment at $3.74? Yes, I do, because there really is not much to lose. Obviously, everything I say in my videos, guys, is not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion. But the reason I say this, guys, is because this stock does have the upward potential that it could need. You guys also have to understand that, this thing basically had to pay all the penalties out. Right, they are sitting on a lot of cash, and they do have to pay their time for the fraud that they made. I know that they have to pay up $180 million for the fraud. They also have to pay out $10 million to a lawsuit and stuff like that. And a lot of people, like I said, lost a lot of money off Luckin Coffee, which left a sour taste in investors' mouth. But guys, as the story continues, Luckin Coffee does not post news. It does not keep people updated about the situation. It does not let people know that, okay, that we're still here. We're still doing business. We're still trying to grow. We're trying to clean the brand name right now, guys. There's a lot of companies out there that have committed fraud. Wells Fargo did. It's a big bank. Everyone knows it. General Electric did as well. Those stocks are still around. They still do very, very decent. Could they have been doing better right now if it wasn't for the fraud? Yes, they could have. But I'm just saying in general, guys, stocks can recover from fraud. Don't ever think that that is not a possibility. With Luckin Coffee, it's time, guys. I don't know how much time. I'm not a genie. I cannot read the future. I don't know how much or how long it's actually going to take for Luckin Coffee stock to recover. For me, I'm just bullish on the overall sentiment that they're up. They still have stores. They're still doing business, and they're still trying to clean the brand name out. They fired all the executives that were basically behind the fraud in themselves. So, Luckin Coffee did the right thing. They did all they could, and now they're trying to work on cleaning the brand and growing upwards. Is it possible for Luckin Coffee to make a recovery? Yes, it is, but my biggest complaint, like I said, would be updated financials, which we have not got yet. I want to see how the company is doing. And overall, just keeping investors in the loop, guys. Keeping investors and the people, what's going on with Luckin Coffee? What generally is going on with the company in itself? Because we don't hear anything at all, you're right? They don't keep the people updated on big-time companies like NIO and Tesla, General Electric, Wells Fargo, big banks, anything, guys. We hear news almost every single day. With Luckin Coffee, guys, we hear news maybe like once every couple of months. I don't check up on the stock much often, but I still am pretty bullish on Luckin Coffee. I know that for me, this is going to be a long-term hold, not a short-term one. But for me, like I said, I think Luckin Coffee is actually worth the investment, guys. I think Luckin Coffee can make a recovery. With that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys, what you think of Luckin Coffee. Do you think Luckin Coffee is worth the investment at $3.74? Do you think Luckin Coffee stock can make a recovery? If you guys own Luckin Coffee shares, how many shares do you guys own? What's your average? With that being said, guys, I'm signing out.